All right, hello everyone. Okay, this is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Subscribe to the channel. That's how I do these intros. If you watch my show, you'll see the same exact thing. The guy you see here is the guy you see on the show. Now, these dudes were talking about crypto and gaming. Go with that, dude. I am not a gamer, but I know it's going to be big, man. There's a big overlap between gamers and crypto. I would try to figure out, I'm a Bitcoin guy. I like Bitcoin, to somehow incorporate Bitcoin and gaming. People are working on different things, but hey, I'm all about creating. Go whatever way you want to. There's a lot of people in the space that say, things have to be done a certain way. If you're a Bitcoiner, you can't talk about altcoins, or if you're an Ethereum person, you can't talk about Tron. If you're this, you're that. There are all these rules. For me, it's about positivity and production, okay? I might not like all the coins out there, all right? But I don't want them to be destroyed. I'm not gonna try to put someone down and rip them and embarrass them on Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. I just want people to create. We are in this golden age of cryptocurrency. And I, of course, think Bitcoin is the top. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. But people can do what they want to do. And that's awesome. Innovation can come from all parts. So there have been people in the past like, let's have a mining pool that destroys altcoins. No, come on, if you don't like them, ignore them. That is the power of the new realm that we're in. If you are truly independent, it doesn't matter what someone else is. If you're truly living the Bitcoin life and piling up the Bitcoin, you can say whatever you want to say. You don't have to make other people fit in the way you think fitting in is, and you don't have to fit into their way. That's the point you want to get to in terms of independence and the freedom that cryptocurrency, that Bitcoin can provide people. Now, I do want to say one thing out there. Twitter. I think some of you are familiar with crypto Twitter. Let's address that, because that's where a lot of these issues come about. Where no, you're not allowed to say that, or you're not part of my team anymore. There are no team. If you really are independent from cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, there are no teams. You're doing it for yourself. You're getting freedom for yourself. You don't have to fit in. If people don't like you, then they don't like you. That's great. Don't succumb to the peer pressure. Say what you're going to say. Believe what you're going to do. Create what you're going to create. Don't let people hold you back. So Twitter, you can waste a lot of time on that, getting into these arguments. Getting into, like, it's a football game. It isn't a football game. It's not really altcoin 1 going against altcoin 2, and that doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You've got to be learning out there. And the amazing thing about crypto Twitter, despite all the drama, I treat Twitter as separate little blogs. I don't see what's in my feed. I have some people that I like to go to, like Meister or Tone Bays or whoever. I'm just naming people that people know, or Vortex, and I just read their feeds. And then they provide links. I actually go to links. There's so many people out there that treat crypto social media, and they let the freaking algorithm guide them where to go to next. And they end up not even paying attention to what they're watching. You've got to use this as an interactive time, okay? You're watching a video. Just don't gaze at it and look at the hot woman or whatever that's on there. No, you see what the person is telling you. You're not watching it to see hot women, to be entertained and whatever. No, you're there to learn. Now, some people, you can do what you want to do, but I'm saying watch it to learn, see the things they're talking about, and then don't let YouTube tell you where to go to next. Look up the people that the person mentioned. Look them up. Click on the links below, actually. So, I do videos sometimes, and then afterwards in the chat, people ask me exactly what I talked about in the video. I'm like, weren't you paying attention? No, I was looking at your mustache or your hair or whatever. It's like these people make fun of social media because it can be, it's not very deep. It can just be based on looks and everything. But there's so much information out there. It is an incredible tool in the cryptocurrency space. So I really want to point that out. Those moments when you're like, oh, this is such drama, just go away from that. Be efficient with your time. First of all, play the videos at 2x. Whoever you watch, play them at 2x. You can still you can even understand me at 2x, okay? And so some people with accents, it's a little harder. 1 point. You can't.
2x. Only
1.75?
In moments.
It depends. It depends.
1.75, yes, but at 2, I'm like,
you can get used to it. But whatever. You get the point. There's so much knowledge out there, but just don't be your own guide. Keep your brain thinking. Just don't go to the next blind thing, because then you get stuck in a little hole, a little echo chamber, a big echo chamber, and then you almost sometimes you can just be dumbed down and just like whatever. But then sometimes you can become like orthodox and insane and like hateful of everyone, and that's not what this is about. This is about learning, and exactly, it's about choice. And don't blindly listen to what the person's telling you and just like they're right. No, just try to investigate some more, and be willing to listen to other people out there. And again, I'm not buying altcoins. I don't buy altcoins. I buy Bitcoin. But you better believe if there's an interesting altcoin story that comes out there, I'm going to try to learn from it, okay? And on my show, I have guys that, have talked about altcoins. I mean, they're not 100% Bitcoin maximalists. I try to get different opinions out there. I've had Bcash associated people and whatever on the show. There's no, like, you're not going to go to hell if you if you watch an altcoin or whatever. And the same thing with the altcoin people. If you think Bitcoin is old-fashioned or whatever, and you're totally ignoring it, I think that's a mistake. So. Definitely keep an open mind. But you can still have conviction. But you can get other opinions that are out there. But I just want to stress that Twitter, especially, it can be an amazing resource, because if you just don't read the little 180 words or whatever, 180 characters, and actually click on some of the things they're talking about, it just gets you into these whole new worlds, and you find out about all these new people that you never would have gotten before. So again, Keeping it positive is very important. That's what builds the space. There are people that have talked about like, oh, I wish this altcoin went away, and it would be great if an altcoin died. Well, actually, it wouldn't, because if you're a Bitcoin person, people would suspect, well, this could happen to Bitcoin, or the mainstream media is so clueless, they'll say it happened to Bitcoin. This happened to Bitcoin. You really don't wish bad upon other people. If you don't like someone, ignore them. And trust me, that's another thing. In this space, one thing you got to remember is it's the wild, wild west, okay? This is where the big boys play. There isn't some moderator out there. There isn't some saying this person's true, this person isn't true. You got to really think. There are straight up liars in this space, and they are going to keep lying and lying and lying. And some people just aren't used to that. Like, how could this person just totally lie about everything that they're saying they are? It happens, and it works. I mean, it really works. Just because someone's got a big following, and it seems like what they're saying is insane, doesn't mean that they're not insane. They can be insane. There are people trying to propagate all sorts of scams out there. So be real careful. Be really careful. People straight up lie. And I guess we do live in a world where people think just because someone's got a YouTube channel, or just because someone's got a big Twitter feed or whatever, they must be telling the truth. They have so many followers. Be very careful about that. But it is fun, and I do like the wildness of it all, that anyone can say anything, no one can be canceled, if you properly hold your cryptocurrency, no one can take it away from you. And I think that is the ultimate freedom. So hey, and I want to just preach, there's a lot of fancy things out there. Don't complicate things too much either. I look like I'm really excited. I got a lot of energy. But what do I talk? All I talk about is like, buy Bitcoin, hold it, do nothing. And that's it. I mean, and that's paid off. It's paid off incredibly for me. It's incredibly for me in my life. So sometimes, listen to your grandma. What she used to do was just like put some money in the savings account. It got interest. She didn't do anything special with it. She became rich. That's my take on it. I don't try to complicate things, because a lot of in this space, you complicate things so much, you just get involved in something you have no idea what you're doing, and it might just be totally fake. So be careful. I keep it simple. No need to diversify for the sake of diversification. If you do get into altcoins, before you buy an altcoin, make sure you can actually send a Bitcoin. How about that? That's a good thing. And then the altcoin that you're buying, do you know actually how to send it off the exchange? So I'll leave you with that. Check it out. Bitcoin Meister, new show every day. See ya.
Awesome.
Pound that like button.
I think you took maybe 2 breaths during that.
Who knows?
3, I don't know.
Who knows? I'm on fire, baby.
Does anybody have some questions on positivity, the Twitter feed, or the Bitcoin pretty much saving account formula for Adam here? Because I do. So I just want to give you guys.
How hard is it to make a video every day?
It takes conviction. It's the same type of conviction where you're like, you tell yourself, I'm not selling that Bitcoin until the 2024 halving. You got it helps get into a regimen, get into a system. You can't. In this space, if you're an impulsive person, oh man, you're going to make some mistakes. So try to get into a lifestyle where it is a sort of regimen. So that's the lifestyle I'm in. I have to do a new video every day. It can be a pain. It can be because it can be the middle of the night sometimes and you're tired and you want to go to sleep. But for me, there's always something to talk about in the space. There's always some news, and I try to get original stuff. I just don't read CoinDesk and regurgitate it. I read people's Twitter feeds and I get unique information. So it can be, it's not for everyone to do something like that every day, but it's what it is. It's good. I like it. I enjoy it.
I'd like to ask you both this question, but what about the halving? I mean, what do you see there? I didn't pay much attention to the first.
Oh yeah, that's what
it just happened, and
yeah, I
just went on, but
it just happened.
What do you think?
It just no. For me, it's the same thing. I mean, I lived through the first one. I expect the same exact type of thing to happen before. The halving hype starts around now. The national media, like media you wouldn't even think about, will talk about it. It will be on the news that there's something called the halving coming up. And it'll create a little bit of FOMO. It will create some buzz that people buy. The price should go up in terms of fiat terms, going up to a point, and then right beforehand it'll probably go down. Nothing special on the day. Afterwards, there'll probably be some relief. But then there's less Bitcoin being produced. There's less Bitcoin being mined. So it does afterwards. Well, it'll go up again. It will go up, and we should experience insanity again. I believe in the 210,000 block theory. I think every 210,000. So far, you take Bitcoin's life, anytime in Bitcoin's life, you subtract 210,000 blocks. In terms of fiat, it's always worth more. So that means 210,000 blocks from December 2017 when it was at its all-time high. It should be above its all-time high. So October 2021, it should be above $20,000. So we'll see. So we're one day closer to an all-time high, but the day of the halving is just a regular day, really. But people have parties, and by the way, in Tel Aviv, it's going to be the best party of the year. Come to it, the 21st of May in Tel Aviv. Awesome halving party.
Somebody asked you on your video, would 1 Bitcoin be enough by the time of the 2030?
They said, would 1 Bitcoin be enough by the time of the 2032 halving to retire? So I like to keep things I don't like to make crazy predictions, because in order to retire in 2032, you're probably going to need $2 million, okay?
At least.
Yeah, so I'm not saying, I never said in my life a Bitcoin is going to be worth $1 million. So many people love to do that because it gets you to YouTube algorithm. You'll end up with a bunch of videos in a row. $1 million, $2 million. It's mindless stuff, okay? I take it one step at a time. We're in the 5-digit realm right now, okay? 5 digits. I remember when it was in the 3 digits, and it was insane to say it was going to be in the 5 digits. So for me, if it's in the 6 digits in 2032, that's pretty cool. I mean, you're doing pretty well. If you get in now, man, that's a pretty good return. So I'm not going to say no $1 million at any time. I like to take it one day at a time, not get too excited, but know that in the future, this is a savings account. In the future, whatever that day may be, it'll pay off quite nicely, and no one will be able to take it away from you. So I don't like making big number predictions.
Are you ever gonna sell some Bitcoin?
Well, there's no need to do. I'm hoping.
60 years old.
No, I'm hoping that it will be in the future. If I ever need to buy a house, it'll just be easy just to buy the house with the Bitcoin. Yes. But when I need to use the Bitcoin, I will need to use the Bitcoin. That's when. But there's no
contract on the Ethereum blockchain.
there's no. There'll be a point where. Who knows? I don't want anything. I'm having a fun time now, traveling around the whole world. I don't have to break into my savings account. It is my savings account, and one day I'll buy something with it. Sure. But I can easily live on what I got coming in and with the fiat I got until after the 2024 halving. So I'm in no rush.
You made a good point about being a savings account. That's how I look at it too, is retirement essentially. So just like you would any other retirement account, like you're not pulling from that.
Yeah,
thing, like,
exactly.
Oh shit, man! My stocks went up in my mutual fund or whatever. I'm gonna pull a bunch out like now and take that hit or whatever. But you want to get to a point where you don't need it until you're retired.
Yeah.
Or even better than that, I think about it as a general wealth system where I don't know what's going to happen in 100 years to the fiat system, so I'm going to set it up so my great-grandkids have access to my Bitcoin today. I don't need it, they need it later on.
Great-grandkid insurance there. Yes, that is that's a good way to look at it. That's really long-term thinking. Pound that like button. Whoa.
Can you talk about the crypto dividends?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done enough of my own research to understand.
Okay, this is a good concept to get into. So back in 2017, because a lot of you weren't here then, everybody's freaking out because there's going to be this fork of Bitcoin. Okay, no one knows what's going to be the real Bitcoin. What's going to happen? Oh my God, it's going to be complete mayhem. And I started thinking to myself, wait a second, we got to play this down here, okay? Because this is sort of like a social attack here. All it is interest on we're going to get a free coin here. It's not going to harm it. And so I started talking about that a little bit then. And then it happened, and of course it didn't destroy Bitcoin. And I remember I was in Quebec City. It was in August or September of 2017. So Bcash had already come out. It didn't harm Bitcoin. I'm like, wait a second. People are going to replicate this, but for good, not trying to be a Bitcoin, but just trying to make other versions of Bitcoin, because it's a great way of distributing it. And I predicted frickin' B Gold before B Gold happened. And then B Gold contacted me and said, hey, we want to debut on your show and everything. And so that was the first. So all it simply is for me, airdrops and forks, I don't look at them as threats at all. I take the positive look at them. They're just dudes creating altcoins and distributing them to the best holders out there, the Bitcoin holders of the world. Now, a few of them have were threatening Bitcoin. Bcash was. But don't look at it you don't have to look at it that way. You just look at it as interest on your Bitcoin. It is a way to encourage people to properly hold your Bitcoin. If you have your Bitcoin on some exchange, you're not getting a fork. You're not signing up for an airdrop. You're not. So I just lump them all into crypto dividend. You're getting a dividend on your holding, a one-time dividend from this altcoin guy. It's interest, and so few people talk about this. So few people talk about this. They're like, oh, they're all scams. They're all altcoins. They're blah blah blah. There's no interest on your Bitcoin. Oh, go to this third party. They'll give you real interest. Well, first of all, if you give your Bitcoin to a third party for interest, I am so against that. And there's some people I've had on my show that work for those companies and stuff. Okay, you're giving up your private key. I mean, it's insane. And we've seen with this DeFi stuff. And by the way, I love that people are experimenting with DeFi. I think it is great because there's some entities that are not going to come into this space until they can get interest on through a traditional mechanism like that. And it boils down to a traditional mechanism because it really isn't decentralized. Hopefully they can get it as decentralized as possible. But again, avoid all the nonsense. If you can get interest on your Bitcoin by just holding it properly and collecting the forks and collecting the airdrops. All right. But there are going to be people. I understand why people want interest, and they're going to do this DeFi stuff and give to third parties. Don't give up your precious coins to third parties.
Awesome. Adam, thank you so much.
Yes.